Hey there, Washington Commanders fans. Today we've got two pieces of news that'll blow your mind. And seriously, if you don't subscribe now, you'll miss out on an analysis that no other channel will give you. I'm going to spill all the tea about Jayden Daniels and what nobody's telling you about the upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns. And the best part? There are some behind-the-scenes moves that could completely change the score of this game. Stick around till the end, because you'll understand why we can't underestimate our next opponent. So, let's kick things off. Jayden Daniels is on a sensational streak, reminiscent of Robert Griffin's magical start back in 2012 when he took us to the playoffs and became Rookie of the Year. But listen, as incredible as Griffin was, Daniels is already surpassing all his numbers right out of the gate. The guy's got insane passing accuracy and is leading an offense we haven't seen in a long time. We're talking 82.1% completed passes in just 4 games. That's not only the best in the league, but also the highest percentage in NFL history over a 4-game stretch for anyone with more than 50 pass attempts. And if you think the guy's just throwing accurate passes, think again. Daniels isn't just distributing the ball like a pro, he's also running for touchdowns. He's already got 4 rushing touchdowns in just 4 games, making it clear that our QB is a dual threat, in the air and on the ground. With him at the helm, the Commanders' offense is putting up 30.3 points per game. That's the third best offense in the NFL right now. Who would have thought, huh? After struggling with quarterback issues for so long, it looks like we finally found the solution. Now imagine what it'll be like from here on out. Now, here's the most interesting part of this story. We started the season with an ugly loss to the Buccaneers, taking a 37-20 beating in Week 1. And honestly, it looked like it was going to be another one of those disappointing years. But nope. Daniels and the team turned things around and now have 3 straight wins. If you remember well, back in 2012 with Griffin, we were 2-2 at this point in the season. In other words, Jayden Daniels has already put the Commanders in an even better position than we were in that magical season. Can you believe it? The coolest thing is that, despite all this success, Daniels remains humble. "I didn't have any expectations," he said in a recent interview. He just wants to learn as much as possible and keep improving, and we can clearly see that on the field. He's getting more confident with each game, and Coach Dan Quinn has already said that the kid's work ethic is impressive, and that's where we see how special he is. It's not just talent, it's hard work too. And speaking of confidence, let's look at the numbers that prove how well Daniels is playing. He's led more scoring drives than incomplete passes so far, and he's only been intercepted once in 106 attempts. And the best part? That interception was in a game we won easily against the Arizona Cardinals 42-14. In other words, even in the few mistakes he makes, the team manages to stay in control and win games. This shows how we're in a good place right now. And I bet you, just like me, are already starting to dream about playoffs. On the other hand, our opponent this week, the Cleveland Browns, is going through a tough time. They've only got 1 win and 3 losses so far, and their offense isn't working well. Their average points per game is only 16.5, one of the worst in the league. For comparison, the Commanders are scoring almost double that. But here's where the danger lies. We know that in the NFL, any game can be a trap, and you can't underestimate anyone. It'll be crucial for the Commanders' defense to stay solid and for Daniels to maintain the level of performance he's been showing. And speaking of performance, the Browns' offense has some big names that, if they click, could cause trouble. One of them is Jerry Jeudy, who's in his first season in Cleveland after 4 years with the Denver Broncos. He's still trying to gel with the rest of the team, but he's the type of player who can change the course of a game with one play, so the Commanders need to keep an eye on him. But honestly, our defense is at a really good level, and if it stays that way, we've got everything it takes to come out with another win. Another important point for Sunday's game is the return of running back Nick Chubb to training. This guy can totally change the dynamics of the Browns' offense. He had a serious knee injury last year and has been out since then. If he plays, it'll be a tough test for our defense. Chubb is one of the best running backs in the league and had 4 consecutive seasons with over 1,000 yards. This is very, very important. We're going to need a brilliant performance from our linebackers and defensive line to contain this guy. What do you think? Can we stop Chubb if he plays? And we can't forget about our own injured squad. Brian Robinson Jr., our running back, is also dealing with a knee injury, and we still don't know if he'll play on Sunday. This could complicate things a bit for our ground attack, but with Daniels playing the way he is, we have enough alternatives to keep moving forward. Now, check out this hot news I've brought for you today. Yes, you heard that right. Our team, which started the season well with 3 wins and 1 loss, might get some heavyweight reinforcements as soon as this coming Sunday against the Cleveland Browns. And look, this could change the course of the upcoming games. Don't go anywhere, because the news I'm about to share is something you can't miss. And of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, now's the time. Click that button, hit the bell, and leave a like, because it helps me keep bringing you fresh news. The first name I want to highlight is quarterback Marcus Mariota. He's a player who needs no introduction, right? Everyone knows his potential and how he can impact a team on the field. Mariota started the season on the injured reserve list, but the good news is that his practice window is now open. This means that if all goes well, he could be back in up to 21 days. Now, for those worried about Jayden Daniels, relax. Jeff Driscoll is holding down the fort as a backup, and Sam Hartman came up from the practice squad to be the 3rd quarterback. But as soon as Mariota is 100%, Hartman will likely return to the practice squad. It's an interesting puzzle, and just thinking about what Mariota can do gets me excited. But it's not just Mariota who could return and shake up our team's structure. We also have linebacker Jordan Magee, a 5th-round rookie who's been highly praised since the offseason. Personally, I'm very eager to see Magee in action because, from what coaches and teammates have said, he has everything it takes to be a key piece in the defense. And look, with Bobby Wagner doing well as a starter, Magee would be that luxury backup any team would love to have. Unfortunately, he suffered a knee injury during the preseason, but now it seems he's recovering well. The expectation is that he'll return to training soon and be ready to help the team. Now, I know many of you must be curious about Efe Obada. This is another guy who deserves all our attention. Obada has been with the Commanders for 2 seasons and signed a 1-year contract to stay with us. Unfortunately, he suffered a nasty leg injury at the end of last season, which took him out of action for a while. But check this out, folks. His recovery seems to be going well, and he can bring impressive versatility to our defensive line. He plays both as a tackle and as an end, and this flexibility is something that will certainly be very useful for the team. The Commanders' defense is already strong, but with Obada's return, we could see an even higher level of performance. And it's good to remember that the Washington Commanders have a 21-day window starting Wednesday to activate these 3 players. Otherwise, they return to the injured list until the end of the season. So there's that anxiety. Will they be ready in time? I'm confident they will be, but only time will tell. Now, what makes me suspicious is, will Mariota be activated before the 21 days? And Magee, will he return with the same intensity he showed before the injury? These are questions we don't have answers to yet, but they'll undoubtedly keep all fans tuned in for the next chapters. Speaking of changes, another piece of news that caught everyone by surprise was veteran wide receiver Jamison Crowder going on the injured reserve list. This is a blow because Crowder is the type of player who brings experience and consistency to the offense. Without him, the team loses an important piece in the wide receiver rotation. The good news is that if everything goes well with the other players coming back, we can have a balanced team capable of dealing with this absence. Now, we can only hope that Crowder recovers soon and comes back to help us in the final stretch of the season. The fact is that these roster changes always leave us in anticipation, right? I don't know about you, but I'm already counting the days until the next game against the Cleveland Browns. Will we see any of these players on the field this Sunday? And even if they don't play, what matters is that we're building an increasingly strong team with good options on the bench. This is something that can make all the difference in the playoffs. And for those who think this is everything, hold on. The NFL season is a marathon, and what we're seeing now is just the beginning. With reinforcements arriving and the team becoming more cohesive, the Commanders have everything it takes to surprise. So folks, now's the time. Let's keep following every move of the team closely, because if these guys come back strong, I'm sure the sky's the limit for our season. Oh, and if you've made it this far in the video, you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't miss anything because I'll bring you all the updates. And now the burning question. With the return of Mariota, Magee, and Obada, do the Washington Commanders have what it takes to go far in the playoffs? I want to know your opinion, so leave in the comments what you think about these players' recovery and if you believe they'll make a difference.